Thanks for joining me today, Michael.
Thank you for having me. Very excited to chat.
Yeah, I'm excited to chat to you. So, I've got Michael Brown with me today, and he is a Sydney based makeup artist. So, Michael, I want to hear your whole story. Um, First of all, what do you sort of spend? What does your weeks look like? What do you do at the moment in the makeup scene?
Wow, that's a tough question because I'm kind of one of those all-rounders. Yes, I'm a makeup artist. I do hair also. So some days I'm on shoots, some days I'm doing personal clients, getting ready. Most of my personal clients, though, when I say personal, they're in like the industry in some way, like maybe they're founder of a company or they do public speaking or photo shoots themselves. So I'm kind of doing people like that.
Hmm.
I also work in the TV space. So I'm about to start another season of Farmer Wants a Wife, working on the host of that show. I do media as well. So I write articles for publications. I'm on morning television. Literally, no week is the same, which is kind
Yeah.
of why I love what I do. But I kind of dabble in every part of the industry.
Wow, I love that. I love that. There's so many things you mentioned there that I would love to talk about, especially the farmer wants a wife part. But where
Sure.
where did it all begin? How did
I
you
mean,
start as a makeup artist?
how much time do you have?
Oh, I've got a few hours. So
I love it. So, I mean, look, next year is my 20th year anniversary in the industry. So I've been around just a few years.
yeah.
I started as a dancer. I'm from Perth in WA. So I danced all my life from 4 years old all the way through, did everything from jazz, tap, ballet, everything. But when I started ballet, kind of really like honing in on it more professionally, I went to one of those high schools, like a performing arts high school. So we did half a day of school, half a day of ballet, contemporary Spanish, dance history, dance studies, and French. So it was pretty full on. That's when I started, I would say, performing more. So you have to wear, stage makeup, and the girls in the red lip, the white inside the eye, the red dots here to open, the lashes. And the boys were always told, always wear foundation, a tiny little bit of what now we call contour. Back then it was more just shading and bronzer and eyeliner. And all the girls were like, your eyeliner's always so good. Like it's always like there, but like slightly smoky. And I'm like, really? So I started doing the girls for, performances and Stedfords and concerts, and that's how I got my love for makeup. And then obviously just kind of dabbled in it with, friends and bridals and a few, formals back when I was in year 12. And then I realized, wow, school's kind of done. What am I going to do? Dancing was great in Perth, but it's hardly Sydney. So I got a part-time job at a cosmetic counter. So I actually started in retail cosmetics, and that started the whole love and the whole career of what I call makeup artistry.
Okay. And when you started on the counter, was that in Perth or was that Sydney?
Perth, yeah.
Right.
So my first job was Shiseido. I was employed to be on the events team. They had I think Shiseido relaunched their makeup range. So new packaging, new style. Like for them, it was a massive launch. So they said, look, we only have a 3 month contract, but we love your personality and your energy. And we need that to recruit customers to get your blush done, get your eyes done, get your lips done. So I was literally in store in WA at all different stores, Myer, David Jones. I mean, I'm a bit older, so we didn't have Mecca and Sephora back then. And I was on a microphone. Now, I grew up with a stutter, like a really bad stutter. So I couldn't even order my lunch at the tuck shop at school. My friend
Okay.
had to order it for me. And I did speech therapy over the years, and I knew I could speak okay and just slow down and whatever, but I never ever thought my first job in the industry would be on a microphone where I'm like, "Oh my god, I could stutter at any moment." So I was petrified, but in the end, I was
Wow.
like, "You know what? Treat it like a dance concert. You're on stage, you're performing in front of people." Because when I was on stage, I was so confident, and for some reason, this confidence came over me, and I was recruiting people, and they loved it that they offered me a job, and from there, I went through a few brands, and to cut that whole story short, Lancôme was the last brand I worked with in WA, and I was a state makeup artist and, like, coach. So I was training new people on makeup artist tips and everything, and then they moved me to Sydney. So I would not be in Sydney without L'Oreal and Lancôme, the brand. So I'm very grateful and had the best experience moving here with the brand.
Wow. Amazing story about your stutter too, how you overcame that.
It is amazing. Like, I spoke to someone recently about it because I met someone with a stutter and their child now has a stutter. And I said, "Oh my God, that's very similar. My mum also stuttered." And during my primary school years, it was a really big deal. Like, mum had to write every year and say, please don't let Michael stand up in class. He can't read in public and that kind of stuff. He just won't do it. And I had speech pathology and speech therapy, and it was fine, it was tame, but it was always there, and I used to get really anxious about it, and now I think, "Wow, I, like, talk in public all the time." I did a podcast, I'm on morning television, I've spoken in
Yes.
store, I've hosted events with, like, 1,000 people, so it's pretty amazing. As a kid, I never, ever, ever thought that would be my career or just be able to do so. So I'm quite proud of
Yeah.
that. But yeah, just I don't know. I don't know what advice I can give to people, but just like don't worry about something that's happening maybe when you're a child or younger, because you'll probably outgrow it and probably be amazing at it.
Wow, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm actually so fascinated by that because I guess it really could have been something to hold you back, but you just didn't let it.
I think I really wanted that job so bad because I was dancing and I was getting paid to be a dancer, performing on weekends, doing
Mm,
some teaching. But like I said, it's Perth. So we don't have massive shows and
mm,
contracts and stuff. I just needed more financial stability, but also do something fun. So I thought, hey, work on a makeup counter. There's
yeah,
people coming and going all day. You get makeup, you get to play with makeup all day, and you get free gifts. So I was like, I get free makeup.
amazing.
So, but then I didn't really realize I was gonna be, like, doing the on stage thing and microphoned up, and back then, there was a lot of theater back then in department stores. We used to
Yeah,
do heaps of events on microphones and things, so in the end, it kinda became my superpower, like, "Oh, you're great on the microphone." I'm like, "Oh, really?" And I just
yeah.
used to go, "You're on stage, you're a dancer, do a show for everyone," and that's how I got through those years and actually got really good sales because of it as well, which is why the brand Lancôme moved me to Sydney to head up the entire makeup department for L'Oréal Luxe.
So when it comes to like your technical skills of doing makeup, is that something that came naturally to you, but you also learnt on the job?
I kind of, from dancing, as I said, from a young age, I feel like I was around makeup a lot with the girls getting ready for shows in the Stedfords. Being a boy in the late 90s dancing, there wasn't many of us at all. So I was often like pushed up with the older girls doing shows and performances because they needed a boy to do lifts and partner work. So I remember being like 14 dancing with like 17-year-olds
Yeah.
thinking, oh my God, this is amazing. But like they were obviously doing full makeup as their age group. So I'm like, oh wow, look at the lashes, the red lip. Like I used to love it. So I kind of learned on the spot. But then after high school, I did do a course at a beauty college in Perth. Uh,
Okay.
I think it was like certificate three cosmetology or something like that. It was so long ago. It was year 2000. Like I actually can't
Yeah.
remember. But yeah, I did do a course. But during the course, I kind of knew most of it from dancing and stage makeup. The only thing I loved about it was learning different parts of the industry and obviously that lighting, photography, that type of stuff as well.
Mhm. And what were the products you were using back then? Do you
My
remember?
God, my first kit, it was very Krylon based.
Yeah.
Mainly because as a dancer, stage makeup, a lot of us were told to just buy the Krylon foundation sticks, and they
Yeah.
were this thick. Like, we used to come home and wearing makeup this thick, like it was
Yeah.
so full on. In my ballroom dancing days, I was orange. I was always fake tan and orange. And then my ballet days, I was this thick with makeup and the black liner. So I had Krylon. I had things like the Body Shop, Red
Yeah.
Earth, whatever I
Oh,
could
Red Earth.
afford. Yeah, Red
Yeah.
Earth. It was amazing. But then obviously the best part about working for a cosmetic company in a retail setting is they train you and give you free gifts. So I went through Shiseido, Clinique, Estee Lauder, and then Lancôme. So my entire kit got better and better and better with product as I went through these brands. And then as soon as I moved to Sydney in 2006, to be honest, I have not paid for a cosmetic product since.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's been great to have brands supporting you and building a kit really.
Yeah, that's amazing. So let's talk about from when you moved to Sydney. So 2006. So what's that, like almost 20 years ago? Yeah.
Nearly, yeah.
Yeah. So what were you coaching? Did you mention you were
So
working with?
I became the first ever national makeup artist for Lancôme. So I
Okay.
used to look after Australia and New Zealand.
Okay.
The good thing about that was I was 25, I was a Perth boy, very sheltered in terms of that WA, like, small town mindset, even though Perth's not a town, but, it's very
Yeah.
small there. And then I was thrust into Sydney and this life of, like, events and models and even celebrities and stuff. The PR manager at the time, Christine Burke, who is still the global comms manager for L'Oreal, who's now moved to Paris, she just put me under her wing and said, "You need this, you need to do some media training, you need to speak to the press, you need to do events, you need to do TV." And I'm like, oh my God, I'm used to like counter work, you know? So it was very full on, but the good thing about my role was I wasn't taking someone's place, and
Huh?
I really loved that I wasn't going, "Okay, I've gotta be like them and perform like them." I was starting the whole role. No one had done that before. And I think that was great for me because I could kinda go at my own pace
Mm.
and just live it how I thought it should be and do things how I thought it should be. My main role was education, really, artistry education, because there was a training manager doing product knowledge training, ingredients, texture, what this product does. But for makeup, especially, no one was training how to apply it, when to apply it, eye shape, skin tones, contouring, nothing. So I became the artistry educator, not only for Lancôme, but then in my first year, the brand was doing so well with artistry, L'Oreal Luxe. So YSL, Giorgio Armani, back then Biotherm, all got me to train as well. So I was kind of doing the entire luxury division. So it was pretty cool.
Wow. So did you say for Australia and New Zealand?
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
we, like L'Oreal's done in zones. So there's all
Mhm.
zones. There's the Europe zone, the Asia zone. At the
Mhm.
time, we were actually zoned with like Dubai and the Middle East. And
Mhm.
then later on in my career, we rezoned into Asia, which was very interesting because
Mhm.
great for me. I got to travel to Asia a lot and do big events in department stores and really live the love of Asian makeup styles and their love of Westerners doing their face too. But then when we rezoned with Asia, we struggled to get things like bronzes and things because they just didn't sell bronzes in other markets in Asia, and we needed it. We had to always fight for certain products, so that was kind of weird. But yes, I was kind of everywhere, and then once a year, I was flown to Paris for the global makeup artist conference. So every artist who was my role in a country, there was like 50 of us, we all get together and get a full conference in Paris for 3, 4 days, and then come back and learn and teach all our learnings to our market. So that was pretty cool. My first trainer in 2007 was Gucci Westman. And I'm like, yeah, because at the time she was Longcom's big creative director. And I'm like, oh, this woman's cool. And now she's got a brand. And I met her last year. We had a lunch here for Mecca. And I was like, you don't remember me, but I was in your training in 2007 at Longcom. She's like, oh my God. So yeah, it's amazing who you meet and then might meet again. Like you never know in this
Yeah.
industry who you're going to meet again, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that is so cool. I love that. How long did you have that role for?
6 years, yeah,
6 years.
and
Okay.
to be honest, I only left that role. I loved my role at Longcom. I was doing 30 trips a year all around Australia, New
Yeah.
Zealand, Asia, and sometimes Paris. I was training, I was doing PR, I was doing events. I helped the marketing team forecast products. I was presenting to media, to department stores in buying sessions. I was training internal brands like Shurmura Makeup, Armani Makeup. I was a part of the events team. I used to host the makeup artist team. Like my role was insane. But
Yeah.
then the Sydney office, who was just luxury division, they moved to Melbourne in
Mm.
2000 like 11, 12. And I
Mhm.
decided, you know what? I don't want to move to Melbourne. I love
Mhm.
Sydney too much. I'm going to leave and then start my freelance career.
Okay, okay. So when you were doing the Lumcon role, did you do private clients or anything like that, or everything was just based
I
around?
mean, friends and family,
Yeah.
like a friend had a wedding or something like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
honestly, I didn't have time.
No,
Like,
I did yeah,
I
okay.
was known in the office, like, "Where's Michael today?" Like, if
Yeah.
because I was based in the head office, I had a full desk and everything. I was writing training programs, I was doing budgets. I used to literally look after the makeup artist team, so
Yeah.
we had 300 beauty advisors at Lancôme across the country, but I had
Okay.
10 actual artists that reported directly into me, and I
Mhm.
was kind of their manager, team leader. So weekly, that I'd get their sales reports. We do 2 trainings a year. One of them was Susan Lillian, which I think was
Yes.
on your podcast.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
and Susan and I are still such good friends today. We work together, we go out together. and she was my state makeup artist for New South Wales. So they all reported into me as well. So I was really busy. I was
Yeah,
traveling so
wow.
much. I just didn't have time for anything to do with freelance, really.
Oh,
You know, as I said, Christine Berg, the PR manager, she really believed in me. So she pushed me to do so many jobs and, PR experiences through the brand. I mean, that's how I got my first celebrity client. I
yeah.
directed Maya fashion shows.
Okay.
I directed David Jones fashion shows. So I was really busy.
Yeah. Who was your first celebrity client?
Locally was Jennifer Hawkins
Amazing. Yes.
when she got the Maya gig in 2006, the year that I moved. 7, Lancôme became the makeup partner for Maya. So
Mhm.
we sponsored the Maya fashion show for 2 years, so 4 seasons.
Mhm.
And Jen had, I think it was Liz Kelch who was doing her
Yes.
makeup for the main show, like what we call the press, like the big buyers and the press show. And then back then we had a lot of budget. Maya would tour the show around the country. So we'd go
Mhm.
to every state, every capital city and do mini versions of the show in store with Jen Hawkins. And she'd do press in that capital city. She'd do a signing session where there were queues for hours to get her to sign things, and she'd be on stage in store in every capital city. And we also did a PR event in every capital city. So I was her makeup artist for that. So we traveled the country together for 2 years. And so it was amazing. Obviously, became really good friends, and she was great to work with and got some great covers out of it. And yeah, it was really good. So that was my
Yeah.
first kind of local celebrity, I guess you call it.
Yeah. And when you said you were directing shows, is that like for Sydney Fashion Week or Melbourne Fashion Week or something like that?
So Maya first. So even though Liz Kelch was doing Jen Hawkins' makeup for the big, big media shows, because Longcom was the makeup partner, I was in charge of backstage. So I literally was
Yeah.
backstage director for Maya fashion show for 2 years. So I would get a team of 30 artists because
Wow.
we would start at 7 a.m. and the show would be 7 p.m.
Mhm.
because there was sometimes 40 models to do and they have rehearsals and fittings during the
Mm.
day. So we had to start so early just to make sure they're all done and keep touching up throughout the day. So I get obviously my 10 big makeup artist team in, and then I would choose certain beauty advisors that worked for Lancome around the country that I could just tell had a makeup touch to them.
Yeah.
And we trained them all the day before, rehearsed the day before makeup looks. I would design and set up the entire backstage and then work with the team all day, but also do interviews for Longcom and what the look is for
Mhm.
Longcom.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was a big role. And then we did David Jones 2 years later with Shulmura. So even
Mhm.
though I was the face publicly of Longcom Shulmura, I was training internally. And because of the success backstage of Maya, they got me to do that. And then I only started Fashion Week, I think it was 2010 when Longcom first started doing that. And my
Yeah.
first year was Camilla and Mark, Ellery, Morrison, some really good brands for my first
Yeah.
year. So I've done that as well, yes.
Amazing. Amazing. All right. So you left Blumcom or you left L'Oreal. When did you say that was? After 7
So
years?
the beginning of 2012 was my first freelance year.
Okay. And how did you what how did you go into that?
It was scary, always having a team behind you. At any
Mm.
moment, I can turn my chair and head office and go, "Hey guys, what do you think about this idea? Do you think it's going to
Mm.
work? Like, what do you think about this?" I had like a PA because I traveled so much.
Mm.
Like I said, I was doing 30 to 35 trips a year. I had
Mm.
someone who worked in the marketing team who was their coordinator, but then also became my coordinator. So my flights, my travel, transport, any issues I had, I would just call Julie and she would do everything for me. My expenses. So I was like, oh, I have to do every single thing myself, meetings,
Mhm.
getting the clients, getting the jobs, like everything.
Mhm.
So a bit scary, but then I also realized as I was leaving, I have got 6 years of insane contacts from
Yeah.
retailers to buyers to PR managers and PR contacts that I've worked with through Longcom. Then all the media. I was friends with every single beauty editor under the sun because I presented all our looks to them every year. So I
Mm.
emailed about 200 plus people on my exit day and just explain, "Hey, I've had the best 6 years. I am going out on my own. I would love your support. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing makeup artistry, shoots, events, da 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 da." Listed everything, PR opportunities, media. And that was a godsend because people want to support you, I think, when you do those kind of emails and send
Yeah.
out, call outs. And I got jobs left, right, and center as soon as I
Okay.
left. So I was very, very lucky. But yeah, it was just one of those things that just kind of happened naturally.
Well, that's great. Was Instagram around then? I can't remember when Instagram came
Facebook was
out.
really big.
Facebook?
Instagram might have been around, but I didn't have Instagram until I think 2013.
Okay.
13, 14 is when I got Instagram myself.
Yeah.
I was just using Facebook really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I started a Michael Brown Beauty Facebook page, which now
Yeah.
I haven't used for 5 years. I
Yeah.
had a website. The website, and when I say website, it was more like a landing page, having a few photos and
Yeah.
my bio and stuff. Got business cards printed. I felt so
Yeah.
like profesh back in the day, business cards. But yeah, honestly, it really was an easy transition at first.
Mhm.
Only year 2, we'll maybe talk about year 2 wasn't good. But also one of my lucky things was the Today show that I work on now, sorry, Today Extra. I've been a beauty presenter on that now since 2012. Back then it was called Mornings with Sonia Kruger and David Campbell,
Okay.
and they replaced the Kerry Ann Kennelly show. And it was a big deal because Kerry Ann almost got fired and it wasn't great for the public, and it was a new show, and I got a tweet, remember Twitter? And I got
Yeah.
a DM on Twitter from a producer at Channel 9 saying, "Hey, Michael, your name has come across my desk. Uh, you're great working in TV. We'd love to talk to you more about our new show, Mornings." Now,
Mhm.
when she said great working in TV, I thought she meant doing makeup for like presenters or, doing that. And I was like, I don't know if I want to commit to that just yet. I just started freelance. I want to give it a go and
Mm.
see if I can get clients myself. So
Yeah.
I didn't understand. So I just wrote back, oh, I can't remember what I said. She goes, "No, no, no. I mean on-air talent, like presenting beauty tips on the show." And I'm like, "Okay, this is a whole different thing." And
Yeah.
so they got me in for screen tests and everything like that, and I got that. Now, I had only been freelance 1 month, and then I was on morning television, and my
Yeah.
first one went so well, they got me on weekly for 2 years.
Mhm.
Guess that really pushed me not only in my own network, but publicly as well. So I think that's
Yeah.
why I was so lucky my first year. I was like, "This is amazing. I had jobs everywhere." And then year 2 happened.
Talk about year 2.
Well, I think anyone who's doing freelance knows the highs and the lows. There's
Mm.
always gonna be lows and weeks
Mm.
where you're like, "Oh, I don't have any work. What is
Yep.
going on?"
Yep.
And I guess it takes a while to find your little niche too. What are you good at? Like, do you just do hair? Do you just do makeup? Do you do both? Are you a wedding makeup artist? Are you photography? Are you editorial? Like, there's so many avenues you can go down now, even more now than what I had when I started. And I guess the first year, like I said, that email, everyone wants to support you. Let's get Michael a job. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
some jobs are only a one off, or some
Yeah.
jobs are for one campaign or one period. How do
Mm.
you recreate those jobs year in, year out, month in, month out? So that's what I found hard is like, yeah, first year I was like, this is the best decision I've made. Second year I was like, jobs aren't coming in as fast. Maybe they've used me once and didn't need me again, or maybe went with someone else. That happens, whatever. But yeah, I really struggled year 2. Just the work wasn't as frequent, and I was really worried I've made a bad decision, But I pushed through in those quiet
Yeah.
weeks. You're eating noodles, going, "Can I afford to live?" But
Yeah.
then when I started Instagram, my life looks so glamorous. I'm attending events, beauty launches, I'm front row at fashion shows. I've got drivers taking me to David Jones VIP nights. I'm on television, and I'm like, I'm eating tuna. So YouTube was not the best, but then I just kept going, and I really believed in myself. I nearly went back to taking a full-time job, but I was like, no, 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 just go through it. Be poor for a bit, it's okay. And I pushed and just networked, and I did go to all these beauty events going, I might meet someone there who needs makeup
Yeah.
and what have you. So just pushed through, and I pushed through, and it was better and, got better.
Yeah, I mean, I think that freelancing it's a mental game for those quiet times.
It's very hard,
And
and people don't see that.
no, they don't. And there are days where, especially now with social media, which I don't tend to do this as much now, is you just do the comparison game if you're looking at what other people do. You know, why are they doing that? Why aren't I doing that? I want to do that. How do I do that? And there's ups and there's downs. another friend of yours, Liz Teo, who I've had on the podcast, she mentioned
Lovely.
it. She mentioned it. And when you watch Liz on her Instagram, you would think she'd feel that way. But we all
Yeah.
go through it, It's just
Yeah, there was
it's a
there was a
part of
really
it.
hard time in my career. Like I said, I think it was my second or maybe even beginning of the third year when it was really quiet, really
Yeah.
bad, and I was like, God, I've done all this stuff though. Like, and at that point, I'd just done Giselle Bundchen. I was like, at the time she was the highest paid supermodel in the
Yeah.
world, and I was her makeup artist here in Australia for 2 days. I'm like, I've got this client list that's insane. I'd done Miranda Kerr by then as well. So it was all like,
Yeah.
what's going on? I directed shows, worked with brands. I'm being invited to every beauty event under the sun. I was on morning television. Hard to talk to people about it because they only saw what I was posting online going, wow, you're so busy. You're always everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't get paid to go to these events. I'm
Yeah.
going, but I'm going to network and be seen, but you don't
Yeah.
get paid. So it was hard to say, oh, actually, I'm not doing that great, but you want to pretend you're doing great so that people go, oh,
Yes.
you're so busy. It's just a really hard one. It's
It
hard to
is
know
really hard.
when to actually tell the truth. And these days, as I'm older, I just go, you know what? Just be honest. There's no point. Like I was at an event the other day and they go, God, you're everywhere. And I said, oh, it's actually been really quiet the last couple of weeks. Like, really? I'm like, well, don't forget. Sometimes I work on a job that the shoot or the images may not be able to be posted for 4 weeks,
Mhm.
or I don't post in real time all the time. So it may look like
Mm.
I'm really busy, but yeah, just be honest about it and always know there's always something around the corner. That's what I've always believed in. There's
Yeah.
always something around the corner.
I think that networking is the key to getting work. Would you agree?
Totally. Totally. And that's why even my friends go, you're always out. You're always at these events. You're
Mm,
always everywhere. And I'm like, I am, but it may look like from Instagram that I'm there for hours having the best time of my life because I've been doing it so long. I've been going to events like media, beauty events. Well, even a long time I was kind of hosting them for Longcom, so
yeah.
years ago. But I would say as my media roles that I have now since 2012, I know what events are like, what to expect. I've got the
Mm,
best relationships with PR managers and sometimes marketing managers or GMs or CEOs and MDs of companies. I don't go there to socialize, even though I love my Liz and my Susan and my people,
yeah.
but I literally walk in, go straight to who invited me, thank them for inviting me, what's going on tonight, what do we expect, talk to the big wig, like if it's a marketing manager or a GM, whoever's there from the brand, get my correct photos, media wall, product, and sometimes I'm there 30 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Instagram stories are like, "Whoa, he's having a drink, he's partying
Yeah.
on a Tuesday." I'm like, "I'm home on my couch by 7:30." So,
Yeah. Okay.
I know how to work it, and these days
Yeah.
I do struggle even more because, the guest list is getting younger and younger and
Yeah.
younger, and I don't know them anymore. When I started going to events, it was just journalists,
Mhm.
not makeup artists, and bloggers, and then now it's
Yeah.
gone obviously into the influencer content creation space, which is fabulous. But I don't really know them anymore, and they're a whole 'nother level. So I just let them do their thing, do my thing, and just don't stay that long. I kind of do my thing and
Yeah.
come home. So yes, I might go to 4 or 5 in a week, but I'm not really partying it up on a Monday or a
Yeah.
Tuesday that it may seem like on my Instagram.
Yeah. Um, I would love to go to more events, but they terrify me slightly in the sense that I don't know if I'll know anyone, in the sense that I don't know what to wear. Just all these little things. I don't really go I think we're a very similar age, and I don't really go out much anymore. Do you know what
You
I
know what?
mean?
It is a lot of work because you've got to think,
Yeah.
well, I mean, maybe it's my OCD, but I go, okay, can I wear this? Was it on my Instagram in the last couple of months? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. No, wear something else. And
Yeah.
then you got to think where it is. Luckily for me, I live really like right in the city. So
Yeah.
most events I can either walk to or it's like a 10-minute, 15-minute max Uber ride or drive if I'm not drinking. Yeah, I'm lucky I've made it easy for me for my lifestyle, but it's still a bit like, you gotta get there. Will I get there on time?
Yeah.
What to wear? And sometimes like Thursday, I had 3 glams on Thursday.
Yeah.
It's like, so 3 different glams at 3 different locations and 3
Mhm.
events to attend. Now
What?
that's my choice to do that, but they were all really important events that I was invited to, really important for me
Yeah.
anyway, my brand, and my clients were important. So I literally was all over the city from 8 AM right through till midnight, so it was pretty full on.
Yeah, wow, that is a lot. for one, like, for one day. And is that's not every day though. You might do that once in a
No.
blue moon. Yeah.
Yeah, and then last week I didn't work at all the entire week, like not one job the whole week. So
Okay.
and that happens sometimes, like, apart from
Yeah.
obviously daily admin and things like that, there wasn't a job I was physically going to. So,
Yeah.
there are quiet weeks, and then some weeks it all happens together. When I start
When you're
Farmer
doing
Wants a
that.
Wife yeah, when I start Farmer Wants a Wife next month, then that gets a bit busier, but, that's the thing of my life on Instagram. People go, "You're always busy, you're always doing something," and I'm like, that week I didn't work," but I was probably posting something that maybe was from a week or 2 ago, or even just going to an event. Yes, that's work, but not getting paid, so I
Yes.
might have gone to an event and posted that. That's just
Yeah.
me attending on my own accord because I do really believe in networking. If you can go to an event,
Yeah.
network, and yeah, it's fun and you have a drink and a dance sometimes or a beautiful lunch or a dinner, but I really just I'm working there. I'm making sure I'm
Yeah.
speaking to everyone I have to speak to and
Yep.
really thanking them because there's so many people they could have invited. And these days, like I said, they're getting younger and younger, and there's more influencers, more makeup artists than ever.
Yeah.
I just still think, God, I'm an oldie now, and they're still inviting me. Thank you so much. And I love it.
You're not an oldie. You're a goodie.
45 next year. Jesus.
Now, when you go to an event or if you get a PR package or something sent to you, what do you feel the expectation is of you when that happens? Like, what do you feel like is that you need to post or give back?
Because of my media roles, like I had a podcast for 2 years with
Yeah.
Nova that was called Skinfluence. So we did 70 episodes. That was a big time in terms of PR packs because everyone wanted me to
Yeah.
talk about their brand on the podcast. I was
Mhm.
doing that with Alicia Bojwani, who's a beautiful influencer and skin expert. And then because of my morning TV roles, I do get a lot. Like I get probably 15 deliveries a week to my house of product from lipsticks to body creams to fragrances, everything. Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
it can be overwhelming. I live in a small
Mm.
apartment. I've got
Mm.
a beauty cupboard. And once that's full, I start going, like, there's packages everywhere. And it's fantastic. Like I said, I've never paid for product and I'm so grateful. My kit is the latest and greatest, but I don't ask necessarily for these gifts. So I don't necessarily feel the need to literally showcase every single product that
Okay.
I get because
Yeah.
it's impossible. I should be on
Yeah.
my story every day showing a new PR pack. And that whole unboxing thing, I kind of feel like it's had its day,
Stay. Yeah.
unless it's a really big launch and a really like Charlotte Tilbury sometimes does these insane PR packages.
Mm.
Okay, that's insta worthy, but just like a small pack, I go, what I do now is if I'm using that skincare product in my nighttime routine, or I'm spraying the fragrance for an event, or I'm at a makeup job and I got my display of makeup products as my makeup station, I like to show it in like real time as I'm using it. So I may not show the gift arriving in its beautiful packaging and go, wow, there's a new launch, but I always show it somehow later down the track. Like I just got a new
Okay.
eye serum from Paula's Choice and I've been loving it. The 4
Okay.
peptide eye serum. I opened it and thought, it's just an eye cream in a packaging, not really exciting for my story. But after using it, I loved it so much that I showcased it in a different way as I was using it. So I'm still showcasing them, but just not at the time of arrival because I just
Yeah.
think that is a lot of storying
Yeah.
and now you've got to be so careful with the, see, this is a gift. So I'm
Gift.
always like, thank you so much, Paula's Choice. Thank you for the gift. If I don't have any words on it, just maybe like a music with the product, I put gifted because you can get fined, you can be looked up on. It's just a risk.
Mm. Mm.
There's so many rules now. So I just kind of like to do it in a more natural sense rather
Yeah.
than like, look at my free product.
Mhm. Mhm. And what about if you go to an event? What do you
Well,
tend to do?
not I mean, look, at an event, you're invited. I always every single event I ever
Yeah.
attend, whether it's a beauty event, I get invited to lots of lifestyle events as well,
Mhm.
food,
Mhm.
alcohol, clothing, lots of fashion events. So wherever I'm invited to, I always post the event as such, like maybe the room it's in, or if it's on like a fantastic experience, like a boat or a seaplane or like, like a lunch or something. I always post it,
Yeah.
tag the brand, event especially, which is obviously my industry, I
Mm,
don't do that many major key messages because I'm also a beauty expert and content
yeah,
creator. So I want brands to partner with me and collab with me and use my 25 years of knowledge and experience to then showcase the product and brand on my platform or on morning television or in my writing. If they're not paying me to be there, it's very top line messaging.
yeah, okay.
Then sometimes brands do pay you to go to an event. I've been paid to go to many events over the years,
Yep.
because they want that real beauty expert tone in my messaging of the event. Like, what is this product about? How do you use it? Why do you love it? Kind of thing.
Mhm, mhm, okay. Let's talk about the TV stuff. Are you still doing the TV stuff? Really?
Yes, it's
So when does that happen? When do you record? How does tell me all about that.
you mean the Today Show stuff?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So I've been on Today Extra since 2012, as I
Yep,
mentioned. It was called Mornings back then, Sonia Kruger and David Campbell. So it's like there's Today Show in the morning, which is,
yep.
very news and, current affairs and top line news stories. And then Today Extra is always like a bit extra, like fashion, beauty, lifestyle, nutrition, that type of stuff. But because
Mhm,
our audience is from 9 a.m.,
mhm.
my producers are always like, "Don't go too full on with your tips and your crazy artistry stuff, and
Yeah.
keep it very anti-aging, very minimal and cost effective," because most of the viewers from 9 a.m. onwards are stay-at-home mums
Mhm.
and retirees.
Yep.
So once, this is a true story, once I was using a Tom Ford eyeshadow palette,
Mhm.
which I think at the time a quad palette was 100 and something
Yeah.
dollars. So it's a lot for a quad. And
Yeah.
someone rang up the network and said, "That makeup artist is out of touch. Who pays that for an eyeshadow?" And, bless probably the poor woman somewhere. And she's probably thinking, "Who's this idiot?" And my producer just said, "Look, that's one phone call, but just be mindful of your costs. Like, try and use things a bit more medium to low range." So it's funny when I go on today's show, I almost have to stop myself and think, what is the messaging that I'm giving here? Does it reach the masses? Because the average audience that day I'm on is 200,000 people, but more suburban, more
Yeah.
general everyday tips. They're not probably watching a catwalk show with graphic liners and things. So it's good for me because my other world in makeup artistry and celebrity can be a bit much for some people.
Mm.
So I think it's really good to do that show because it teaches me a lot. Last week I was on doing affordable beauty. Every
Okay.
product had to be under $45. Now,
Mhm.
because I'm gifted so many amazing
Yes.
things from the Fenties, the Charlotte Tilburys, the Rare Beauty, Sephora, Meccas, and fabulous products. I had to go, oh, what's in my kit that's under $45? And so I had to really look at it and go, okay, let's go more Priceline, Chemist Warehouse,
Yeah.
and that's fine because I do have
Yeah.
some of those in there as well. But I love that it makes me that area and then go, it's actually really good. This is an
Yeah.
amazing product, whether it's skin or makeup. So I love doing TV. I'm so natural at it now. I don't even really think about it. David Campbell is still one of the hosts on the show. So
Mhm.
obviously him and I have such great rapport working with him for so long. I did love Sonia Kruger because she was so into makeup herself and bronzing and
Yeah.
tanning and lashes that she would get so into my segments and we
Yeah.
just banter and banter and we had so many funny moments live because it's live on TV. There's no pre-record. So it's
Okay.
live, yes, and at one time I said like, she goes, "Oh, I love dry" sh no, no, I said no, no, yeah, she said, "I love dry shampoo," and I said, "Oh, no one likes an oily root," and I said root rather than rather than roots, and then she burst out laughing, I burst out laughing, and that wasted probably 30 seconds of my segment because I only hit 4.5 minutes, and we were just laughing, and we are like, "Oh my god," and I was mortified and rang my producer after, going, "I'm so sorry." She was like, "Oh, we loved it. It was fun, but don't worry about it."
Yeah, I
So I
think that's
think
great.
they love my energy. I just love morning TV. It's great. And it's live. So you
Yeah.
cannot stop. It's so funny when I do anything pre-recorded or when there's a camera in front of me and I'm doing video content. I work with so many brands doing tutorials. I mean, there's a camera there, you kind of go, "Oh, can't do that again. Can't do that again." And it's like, you were actually fine the first time.
Yeah.
So live TV is great because it's taught me on the spot from live TV, I've now hosted so many events from like media to publications to beauty brands to department stores and retailers. I've done so many, on-camera tutorial work, trainings on camera. Camera work to me is really easy. It comes really easily, and I'm normally a
Yeah.
one-take wonder. I can do it so quickly, and yeah, it comes so much to me now. So I'm really grateful for that experience.
You mentioned earlier in the podcast that you had media training when you first moved across to L'Oreal or moved to Sydney. Do you think that helped you, or do you just think it's something that comes natural to you?
When I say media training, it wasn't like I went to an organization and got like a proper course or anything like that.
Oh,
It wasn't
okay.
that. It was just internally at L'Oreal. Christine Burke, who was the head of PR, who, if you know her or have worked with her, which I know
Yeah.
many people out there know her because she was at L'Oreal Australia for many, 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 many years, at always the L'Oreal events. She lived and breathed PR, which is still
Okay.
why she's now the global comms manager for L'Oreal in.
Yeah.
She's still going, and she's just the epitome of beauty PR, right?
Yeah.
But she also knows the media so well and what they expect. So it
Mm,
was more her just training me on certain ways to present, how to hold products in presentations,
okay.
doing makeup. So many makeup artists, I go to events, as I said, and there's many makeup demonstrations at events these days, which I love it. A lot of them do cover half of the face because they're so into being so detailed with the face
Yeah.
that for a presentation doesn't work. So I learned how to be on the side and move my model's head to the way I want her to be and
Yeah.
work almost side on so the public or the camera or whoever it is can see the work. One tip that I absolutely still do to this day, and so does Susan, because she told me recently, when I was doing Australian Fashion Week and the Maya Fashion Show,
Yeah.
journalists always come past and want to know, what is the look today? What's the key products to get the look of the show? So you'd say, oh, this is the top three or top four. And they might be recording or filming, but they might only snippet a small section of it. Or you're doing a model and you're going, this is how I get the look. And they might film it, show it, but the Lancôme brand may get very little coverage out of it. Yes, it's
Mhm.
probably in the print, but so Christine said to me, anytime you're doing someone's makeup and there's media involved, cameras involved, presenting, always hold the product next to the model's head while you're working. So you kind of like have it near the head. So I might be doing eyeshadow. Don't put the eyeshadow palette down with the logo. Place it next to the head. And so it's always there for camera shots because the camera might be working for the newspaper and might say, Maya fashion show, models backstage, but no mention of Longcom. But because the models had me holding always products near their heads, the logo was everywhere in press, and my PR team were like, "You are a dream. You are literally a
Yeah.
dream," because they got free press out of all of it. Anything I do publicly, whether it's morning TV, I might be hosting an event, I might be doing anything on camera for a media launch, I'm always holding products near the model's head. One story quickly, in London
Yeah.
Fashion Week, I was tanning, Hailey Baldwin back then. She was Hailey
Mhm.
Bieber now, but Hailey Baldwin and Alessandra Ambrosio. 2 huge names in the
Yeah.
modeling industry back then. This is like 2016, 17. And I was working for Saint Tropez Tan, so it was a
Mhm.
body gloss we were doing on all the models, like glossing them up,
Yeah.
and backstage was crazy, but I wasn't doing hair and makeup, so those artists, as we all know, can be quite, "Oh, I need my model, I need my model,"
Yeah.
but I was like, "No, I'm doing body, I'm gonna get in there as well," so I was just literally on the floor, rubbing their legs, glossing their legs, but still holding the product like this, so that anyone shooting from, like, content creators to journalists. I was like, no, no, no. And there was Sandra Paytan apparently in all these papers around London. And my boss was like, you are a dream. So yeah.
Makes you more desirable then to other to other brands, right? In a
Like you're
way?
working for a brand and they're paying you. Like
Yeah.
Sandra Paytan flew me to London 3 years in a row for Fashion Week. I'm like, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure
Yeah.
I kind of repay that cost back. I think people, and no offense, but I hear all these influencers, content creators, they kind of forget, yeah, it's great. I'm getting flown to this country or this destination, but that's a big spend for the brand. Flights,
Yeah.
accommodation, your meals, your
Yeah.
transport. And I'm always so grateful. So if I can do something like that to give back to the brand, saying thank you for my press trip, I'm going to hold the product in every shot. That's my thing.
Yeah, great. But also too, because we do so much more, everyone can be a presenter on their Instagram page, right? And if you're holding up the products, that's an awesome tip for anyone that's doing a little tutorial on their own. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, so many I'll get quite a few DMs from young artists going, "How
Yeah,
do I get to your level? How do I get free product?" They always wanna know, "How do I get free product?
yeah,
How do I get gifts? How do I get invited to events?" I'm like, when I started my career, we didn't have Instagram, we didn't have TikTok, there was no YouTube even. It was literally me going around with a portfolio showing people and just word of mouth. Whereas now I feel like, how amazing is it that you can literally inbox any
yeah,
celebrity, any makeup artist, any brand. I mean, some might not reply, but still, you can really have access to these people. And if you love a product, always show it in your videos, show it when you're working, show it in your own content creation. Just reach out to them and say, you know what? I absolutely love this product. I've been using it on my clients, blah, blah, blah. Just have that relationship and network kind of thing. Like you said before, networking is key,
yeah.
brand relationships is key. And I think that's the best part of what I do is the relationships that I have.
Do you work on many, like, photo shoots now? Campaign shoots? Yeah.
Not as many since unfortunately the magazine industry has, sidelined slightly. Obviously, there's still mags out there, like,
Yeah,
Marie Claire, like, I've done a few things with them recently. Like, there's things that I do, but these days, the big shoots, and especially beauty shoots, I was doing so many, like, beauty campaigns and beauty shoots, like, meaning tutorials, but in magazine pages. So,
yeah.
step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 for a look, and it would have it written down from me, and the beauty editor and I would do it together, and it'd be so much fun. But
Mm,
budgets and
mm,
less magazines, I guess, is a no. But because I work with like Kate Waterhouse and
mm,
Jacinta Franklin, and even Anna Heinrich and sometimes
mm.
Sonia Kruger or Delta and all these people in Australia, if they're working in a mag situation, then usually I work with them. Jacinta Franklin and I are best friends now. We're like family. Been working with her for 12 years.
Yeah,
If she does a cover, it's obviously me that will be the first in it. Like she has like a top preferred and then second preferred, third preferred artist. Like some art aren't available, what have you. So I've done heaps of covers with her. So they recommend me, and that's how I get on the job nowadays. But yeah,
mhm,
shoots is not as much, unfortunately. I kind of miss
mm,
shoots. I love
mhm.
being in studio and being more creative. I would say my day-to-day makeup artistry predominantly these days is event makeup artistry. So someone I'm doing is either hosting the event, attending the event. So many brand founders I work with, like Anna Lay has just moved to Mexico, but when she was living in Sydney, I would do her makeup all the time, and she's the founder of Vita Glow and Type B. So I would do heaps of her, PR events, photo shoots, and same with heaps of the founders I work with. Yeah, mine's more event,
Yeah,
slightly fashion, but more event artistry or red carpet artistry.
yeah. You mentioned that you do hair. Do you still do hair? Yeah? And how did you
Nothing like you, Vanessa, though. You're like, I watch you're a top hair, I'm just like the low level, easy,
That's so kind of you to say.
let the brushes and tools do it for you, and I just stand there and hope for the best.
Learn hair.
That was, the that was the probably the biggest struggle leaving L'Oreal in
Yeah.
2012 and starting freelance was actually realizing that nearly every job I was getting booked on was like, "Do you do hair? Do you do hair? Do you do hair?" And in
Mm,
Sydney, and I guess Australia, it's a big thing. Most people they have to cross over between makeup and hair. Nearly every job I do is it's makeup and hair
yeah,
together. We're hardly the US where there's a Chris Appleton and a Mario and they just work together. I think here what it comes down to is budget. So
yeah,
paying a hairstylist and a makeup artist at 2 separate fees, which can be quite expensive. Whereas when you're doing hair and makeup, like for me, it's in one cost, which is still cheaper than getting 2 separately.
yeah,
But for me also, I find it's funny because it saves time getting to. Because while I'm doing skincare, the
yeah,
person can be blow drying. There's a time saver fact in doing 2, but
yeah.
budget, it's cheaper getting the 1. I
Mhm.
like, so many celebrities I work with as well, like having 1. Like when I was doing Miranda Kerr in 2020 during that COVID period, I was doing her quite a lot when she was living in Australia. She's like, "I'm breastfeeding. I got my husband there, my other kids over there. There's no way I want many people in my home. I just want one person. So I was doing her hair and makeup for 3 months, 4 days a week when she was, here. So when I say do hair, I'm self-taught. I
Mhm.
left L'Oreal going, "Wow, I need to do hair."
Yeah.
My hair course was 15 years ago. It was all
Yeah.
updos and not what we do now, and I was like, "You know what? Just watch YouTubes." And I
Yeah.
said yes to every hair event, any hair brand or hair anything hair that invited me, I was there because I was like, "I wanna learn about styling products, techniques." If there's a hair expert there, even better, ask some questions, watch YouTubes, and to be honest, the tools really help you. Like, the
Yeah.
tools these days are so good in technology and brushes and everything, they do it for you.
Mm.
Now, to think that for 3 years I was the Vanessa hair ambassador, and I was doing media, events, content, trainings. I'm like, I'm not even a proper hairdresser. But the Sassoon is very consumer, and they wanted
Yes.
that. They're like, the way you describe how to get a hair look is very top line messaging, which is exactly what a consumer needs. No in depth,
Yeah.
no hair follicle with strength. Like it's a real consumer brand. And I
Yeah.
was, the Sassoon ambassador for 3 years, I think it was 3 or 4 years, and I was also Moroccan oil, working with Moroccan oil hair products for a year. So, it's funny
Yeah.
that you can still get brand contracts even though I'm not technically a hairdresser, but I definitely style hair.
Yeah. And if someone wants something more specialized, then they may get a hairstylist as well, right?
Look, and these days, hair is so simple, it's so
Yeah.
elegant and soft. We don't
Yeah.
really do these intricate, detailed
Yeah.
hair looks anymore. If it's an editorial shoot, they would always get an editorial
Yeah.
hairstylist anyway. I don't do hair for weddings. I don't really do much weddings anyway. But even on the weekend, my friend wanted, like, she's going to a gala and she wanted like a French roll updo with all these curls. And I was like, I haven't done a French roll in 10 years, but I'll bust it out. And I did it. I think once you
Amazing.
understand and play with hair enough, and know hair texture and have good
Yeah.
products. I mean, GHD is so generous to me. My entire hair kit and tools is GHD with a little dash of Shark Beauty. They do
Yeah.
it for you. So it's like you don't really need to know as much about that, but you do need to know that hair thickness, like
Yes.
hair volume and thickness, and definitely product.
Yeah.
Because if you spray too much or too less, it's actually a disaster. I'm almost on the fact of like I use less product,
Yeah.
not knowing much about it. But then I worked with Chris Appleton doing his grooming when he was out in Australia 2 years ago. I was with him for 3 days. And he like floods the hair with product. He's like, "Oh no, the more the merrier." And I'm like, "Oh my god, it's drenched." And he goes, "Yeah, but then that's why the hair holds for how many hours?" I'm like, "I'm too scared for that." So I'll let him do the like
Yeah.
that dream coat. He literally uses nearly a whole bottle on someone's hair. I'm like, "That's a lot of dream coat," but he makes it work because he's a proper educated hairdresser stylist. I'm just a little like, let's do a little curl and a fabulous fringe.
Yeah. I loved Chris Appleton. Well, I love him. I went to one of his workshops. So we came to the one in Sydney. I just loved
Have
him.
you
I
got
thought he was so fun.
Yeah, so Colour Wow is through Hair Care Group, and I've worked with them,
Yeah.
like, through Moroccan Oil and some other brands, and they gift me a lot, and, yeah, they asked me to be his makeup artist and grooming guy for 3 days, and it was
Amazing.
absolutely insane, and that's how I met Liz, actually, 'cause Liz was doing makeup on his models, like his hair models, and I was doing makeup on him, and we met through Chris Appleton, which was quite funny, so we did Melbourne, and then we did 2 days of media and events in Sydney. He was great to work with. I
Yeah.
kind of thought, "Oh, he might be a bit, like, arrogant or big for
Yeah.
his boots," but absolutely lovely to me, very down to earth, really fun, actually, really fun guy. We laughed, and it was really
Yeah.
good. I'm so happy I got to meet him. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I maybe had the same assumption as you. And then I went to his workshop and he was great. He was gorgeous.
Great tips, like, he's really good at
Yeah.
'cause there's so many amazing, amazing makeup and hairstylists out there, so, makeup artists and hairstylists, and they know their craft, they're really good, you see their work and go, "Wow," but they may just not have that knack of, "How do I educate people in words?" and not too overcomplicated wording
Yeah.
that can actually educate you quickly, which is why I think I came from an education background, classroom education, and I've used that now for morning TV in my writing,
Mm.
but I can change it into like soundbite information. Some people just can't do that. So he's really good. He can give you a great tip. You're like, oh, that's really good. Whereas some
Yeah.
people they may just not be able to relay the messaging. They can do it physically, but not actually relay that messaging, that brand messaging.
Oh, that definitely is a skill, actually, being able to relay that and break it down to something really small and make it
Or
engaging.
like work and talk. If he can work
Yes.
and talk at the same time. Some have to like work silently and then talk, so that's a big skill too.
Yeah, and be funny at the same time. He was so funny.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
Um, let's talk about the job you're going on to soon, Farmer Wants a Wife. Can you chat about that?
Yeah, so Natalie Grezleski,
Yes.
she, has been on TV for so long. Think I think we're doing season, don't quote me, it's either season 17 or season 18 of Farmer,
Yeah.
and she's done 14 or 15 of those seasons as the host of the show. Everyone knows her from her brown, beachy barrel curls, her floral country chic top, but she also was on Getaway for a long time. She's been on
Mm,
TV for a long time, just not as much recently, I guess, but still doing Farmer. And
yeah.
then Samantha Armitage took over
Oh,
as
yeah.
main host for 2 seasons. So Nat became co-host, and that's when she got me. And I think when that all happened, she just wanted to have a whole new team and vibe. And at the time I was doing, so her manager, looks after many talent, and I was doing one of her other talent, and her manager goes, "I think you need a new look. Let's modernize you. Let's get you right up there with the top guns. We're gonna get you Michael Brown. We're gonna
Yeah.
see if he's free." And
Yeah.
because it was co-host, it wasn't that long of a contract. It was only a few weeks. So I was like, "Oh, that's
Okay.
easy. I can do that easy." And then last season, which we filmed last year, so it was aired this year, early in the year, but last year was my first year doing full-time host. So
Okay.
I think we filmed for 4 months, but we
Yep.
only filmed maybe twice a week in those,
Mhm.
4 months. So
Mhm.
it wasn't like I was filming daily or anything because the farmers go off and they're the show. They film daily and have these moments if they're girls, but Nat kind of comes in just doing the big group events and the big group
Mhm.
activities like the country fair and things like that. So I do her hair and makeup for the entire show. So it's really fun. It's farmer though, so it is very neutral,
Yeah.
brownie, rustic eyeshadow. She loves that curl in her hair. So it's pretty similar. Whereas I've done shows like Real Housewives of Sydney, where it's
Yeah.
like you have to do a new glam every week, a new hairdo, like straight hair, curly hair, updos, brown eyeshadow, peach eyeshadow, purple eyeshadow. That was a whole glam experience.
Mhm.
Whereas Farmer is more neutral, more calm. I actually enjoy TV. Obviously, the
Mm.
hours sometimes can be
Mm.
really punishing, like 4 a.m. makeup calls and
Mm.
12 to 14-hour days on set. But I kind of love it because everyone's fun on TV
They
shows.
are,
I
aren't
find,
they?
I find, yeah, everyone's fun. Everyone's really
Yeah.
fun.
The crew is so fun on TV. I agree. You
I
become a
mean,
bit of a
think
family.
think about any big experience you've done, whether it's a shoot that's gone more than 1 day, like maybe it's a 4-day shoot,
Yeah.
or like a campaign, or for me at L'Oreal, my time there, or like Farmer Wants a Wife, Real Housewives of Sydney. There's so many parts of our career that you go, that was a really good experience. I hated the hours and the minus two
Yes,
degrees at 2 a.m. at the time, but you're all in the same boat and everyone just kind of gets on with it and has fun. And the crew is what always brings you back. You're like,
they
you know what?
do.
I'll say yes again because it was a fun experience.
Yeah, yeah. So you'll just work that around your Today Show extra.
Yeah, I mean, today extra, it's never planned. How it works is I have a producing team that I pitch to. So if I'm going to a beauty event, I learn something and go, "Oh, this is pretty new in the
Oh,
industry. That's cool technology, or that's pretty cool." In skincare, makeup, and wellness, I kind of go, I might pitch that to my producer or my executive producer, which is the boss of the show. So just last week,
yeah,
I was like, "Hang on a minute, let's do a spring makeup. We haven't done spring makeup for so long, and how to like readdress your makeup formulations. Like we just went from
yeah.
moisture, 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 and now we're going into matte and blurring, going into spring, summer.
Yeah,
So I'm going on next week talking about spring makeup. So I kind of suggest
I
to the
see.
team segments and segment ideas, and they just go yes or no. Or if they obviously see a news article in beauty and go, "That's cool," email me and go, "Hey, can we talk about this?" And I
Okay.
might just alter it to what Australia is doing at that time. So it's very collaborative, but I'm very
Fascinating.
proactive because the more I pitch, the more I'm on the TV. So there's
Yeah.
no set dates with that. It just comes as it goes.
That works really well, really, because
Yeah.
it's so ebbs and flows with what we do with our job.
Look, I love doing it. I don't get nervous, as I mentioned. I find it
Mm.
so fun. I get to relay messaging and use my knowledge. It helps my relationships with brands. It gives me a bit of public awareness of who I am, that
Yeah.
type of stuff. There's, a few followers and things like that. But it's more just I actually love doing it, and I love that's my calling is like doing expertise, education, presenting. I just love that part of the job. And if they said tomorrow it's not happening anymore, I would be disappointed. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. But I love it. But also if it's my idea and I say to them, "Hey, let's do spring makeup," I don't then make the producers then write the segment and call in
Yeah.
products. I do it all. So
Okay.
it is a bit of behind the scenes work, but like I said, with my relationships, I can call any PR agency right now and get everything that I need on next week's segment called in today.
Yeah.
So it's that relationships that I've got as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So how long did you say you're gonna be shooting film for? Did you say 4 months? I can't.
This year we start October and it
Okay.
actually goes right through to the week before Christmas. So
Okay.
yeah, a few months there. But
Yep.
the production schedule, I think because they're dealing with so many people, the host of the show, Natalie, which is like, she's not the main part of the show, but she's the glue to the show. And without
Mm.
her, there's no real show. And then the farmers, they're filming daily, so my schedule actually comes quite easy because they kinda know what the
Okay.
events are, like the country ball, the
Yeah.
harvest fair, and all these things you do throughout the show.
Yeah.
So I already know pretty much my dates from now to December, so I
Oh,
can
that's
lock in
great.
things around it. Like, it might change every now and again,
Yeah.
and because we film in Hunter Valley and Bowral, and there's travel days included, so you kinda have
Oh,
to know, like, so it might be a 3-day week, but you're only actually working 1 day because there's travel days included, things like that. So it's a great gig. I love it. Yeah, the Eureka team who do the production, they're great as well. I've met so many new people from there, and
yeah.
Nat has a stylist,
Yeah.
me hair and makeup, and then like a runner. And the three of us, sorry, the four of us just get along so well. And we're all like, "Are you
That's
doing it? Are you
great.
doing it? Are you doing it again? You're doing it again?" And then we all say yes. We're like, "Yay!" And so it's going to be a fun experience again.
Awesome. So do you when it comes to, like, the looks or the colors or whatever, do you liaise with the stylist? Do you liaise with Nat? How does that work?
It's funny, the production have never ever come to me and said, "Oh, we want Nat to look like this," which has
Mhm.
happened in other scenarios I've worked on
Mhm.
before. It's very much Nat prefers her hair down and just curl. She just loves
Mm.
that look, so that's
Mm.
pretty easy. And she wears because it's farmer once in white, there's no ball gowns and sequins and things like that. It's
Mhm.
very she wears a lot of jeans and boots, lots of Zimmermann tops, those beautiful Zimmermann outfit, so her tone's always rose gold, rustic, bit of browns. So
Mm.
I just kinda go whatever the stylist has picked for that day, I might change the blush and lip color to suit, but it's always that neutral, kinda smoky brown eyeshadow,
Yep.
fresh skin. The beginning of the show and the end of the show is probably the most glam because it's in
Yeah.
what they call the barrel room where the farmers meet the girls, and that's in full lighting. It's full on set lighting, so it's a bit more glam. But most of the show we film outdoors, so it's kinda like whatever
Yeah, okay.
is natural daylight gonna be looking
Yeah.
well. And then there's one black tie dinner towards the end of the season every year, there's one black tie event, where for Nat, it's not because I go to so many black tie events, it's not glam, but for
Yeah.
Farmer, it's glam. And then we
Yeah.
might do a bit more different colours and more lashes and things like that for that. But it's pretty straightforward glam,
Yeah,
so you
okay.
kind of become autopilot because
Yeah.
most of my call times are like 4 AM, like, because 'cause we've gotta start
Okay.
shooting by 7 AM or something like that, so it's quite early, yeah.
And do you put, like, a little kit together for her, so you've got her color and stuff ready to go? Kind of
Yes, I have a Nat like, during filming, my boot in my car pretty much has my usual kit and then a Nat
yeah.
kit, and then I might swap it in and out depending on what's going on,
Yeah.
or obviously I get new products weekly, so I might swap it
Yeah.
in, but there's definitely a nat kit and a main kit. Whereas when I was doing Real Housewives of Sydney last year, I was working with
Yes.
Martine, the new
Yes.
housewife. We were shooting all different locations, all different times, all different looks. I just use my main kit. So that was a bit easier in terms of I just rock up with the same bag I use every day.
Mm.
Whereas for Nat, it's very specific, I'd say. You know, the specific curler, the specific eyeshadow, skin tone. Yeah.
Let's talk about housewives then. How does
Housewives.
that work? That looks like it would be a lot of fun with the looks.
It was so fun. I've been a fan of the Housewives show. Melbourne, obviously, everyone loves Melbourne, but Sydney as well, and obviously Beverly Hills. All of them, they're all fantastic.
Yeah,
So I'm a
they
fan of the
are.
show, and that was a weird experience for me. This particular job offering, I would say. So um, without going too deep, a friend of mine passed away and he was in TV and he said to me, guess what? My new contract is Real Housewives of Sydney. And I'm like, get out. I love that show. I know Terry personally. I know Sally personally. I've met Chrissy before. I've met Nicole before. Like, oh my God, I can tell you all about them because even though he's a gay male who works in TV, he's not into housewives, not
Okay.
that type of guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna find the goss before everyone else. You're gonna tell me." And then he passed away 2 weeks later. So
Okay.
it was a really sad moment, but I kinda didn't think about housewives. And then 4 weeks after he passed away, I get a DM in my Instagram from a woman I don't know saying, "Hey, you've been highly recommended for Glam. I'm about to sign a contract for a TV show, filming starting in April." And this was, I think the message was late February. "Would you be interested in working with me on this TV show?" And I said, "Well, I just need more information. Who is it? What production company? What's the show?" Like, and at the time, she couldn't tell me because of a contract. Then she signed it and told me, and I was like, "Housewife?" She's like, "Yeah." And then Jesse just came in my head going, "Oh my god, my friend was gonna work on the show. He's now passed away. You're now asking me to do the show." I looked at her profile, I was like, "Well, you're pretty glamorous, okay."
Yeah.
And I was like, "It's a yes." I didn't even ask what the dates were yet. I was like, I feel like this is a sign from Jessie to do it, and yeah, so I said yes. Not really knowing much information, by the way. I just knew what a Martine looked like, and if you've seen her, she's absolutely stunning. So I was
Gorgeous.
like, easy. And I knew we'd have fun because I saw her looks, and I was like, she looks like she's not like into one look only. We're gonna have fun with glam, you know, orange eyeshadow, peach eyeshadow, purple eyeshadow. And
Mm.
yeah, I did it, and it was the best experience I had last year. I loved it. It was so much fun. And Martine and I are best friends now. And I can't believe in our careers we meet so many clients. Some are one-offs, some are regulars, but still not close. And some, like my Kate Waterhouse and my Jacinta Franklins and now Martine, are like family. We're
Yeah.
so close, and I'm so grateful that a TV show and a makeup job got me a really good friend. So I love that.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. So, for the people at home, for the people listening, are you with Martine all day? Are you a glam and go? How does it work?
Housewives is very annoying because it's glam and
Mm.
go. Now, the reason that is because apparently in past filming and past seasons, because a lot of the Real Housewives of Sydney producers were also on Melbourne, so they're very familiar with how housewives work and how they behave.
Yeah.
Because these dinner parties and events are very heated, there's lots of arguments and disagreements and walk-offs and things like that. A lot of the housewives in the past have used their makeup artists as a bit of a relief. Like, "Oh, I need my lip touch up. I need more powder." And they use that to go off and kind of calm down or
Yeah.
avoid
Okay.
confrontation, which the cameras, they want the confrontation on camera. They want it there. And if someone's about to go at you and you're like, "Excuse me, I need my lip," and then it ruins the moment. So
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
banned us from going to the events. So it's
Yeah.
very difficult because I do glam and go. She's all done. The last minute she's dressed. I'm still bronzing her. She's walking out the door, and then I go home to my home, and I'm
Okay.
sitting there going, I hope she's okay. I always say her, just powder here if you need to. Here's your lipstick, things like that.
Yeah.
But you have no control. There was one scene that aired, and someone must have brushed past her, and her hair was all up here. And I was like, oh my god, why didn't someone brush it? and you can't control that. That's just how the nature of the show is. The
Yeah.
only, in New Zealand, which was their big trip of the year, or sorry, the season, all the artist team got to go. So Liz and I went, Liz was doing Sally, I was doing Martine, and there was 2 or 3 other makeup artists there as well. So we did get to kind of sneak in sometimes and have a look and have a
Yeah.
touch, but normally it's like we're not allowed to go near them because
Yeah.
production, like, they will use you for their advantage, but it ruins our filming. So it's kind of
Yeah.
annoying because I like to have ownership of a look. Like sometimes you can't go to an event with your person or you can't be on the red carpet. But luckily with Kate and Jacinta, normally I'm going to that event they're going to as well, either because I'm invited through them or me personally. So
Mhm.
Jacinta Franklin, often I'm going to all her events. So I'm there, lipstick in my jacket pocket. Like Derby Day when she was there, I had like a lipstick and powder in this pocket in my suit in the Penfolds marquee. And anytime I was like, "Oh, you're a bit shiny, come with me," and we just do a touch up. I love that, but it's the nature of the game. You can't always
Yeah.
be with them. We're not Kim Kardashian that can hire people
Yeah.
24 hours around them. So you kind of have to let go a bit, but it can be
Yeah.
hard
What about when they're doing the confessionals interviews? Are you there on those
all day.
days?
Yeah,
Okay.
because all those master interviews are in their home.
Mhm.
And that's a big day. Like they're,
Mm.
those master interviews, that's why some of them say some crazy things. Yes, the producers sometimes make them remember back. Remember that time at that dinner
Mm.
that so and so said this, and they might react. But they're tired, they're hungry,
Yeah.
they're sitting so still because the lighting and the microphone, everything is so in that crop position. So the background is so like a
Perfect.
staircase or a
Yeah.
chandelier. They can't move much, and they're like this the whole day. It's quite funny. But yes, I'm there on those
Yeah.
days and I can touch up and that's that's amazing.
Mhm. Mhm.
But also, you know what? These days, the power of a good setting spray.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not as worried as I probably was maybe 4 years ago about leaving my client that long without a toucher. I mean, Charlotte Tilbury just launched that new blur, mattifying blur setting spray. It is incredible.
Yeah.
Like last week, I was saying I did 3 jobs that day. I started Kate Waterhouse at 8 a.m. in the morning, and she went to the Trinity brunch and then a gala that night. I was
Yeah.
at the gala, hadn't seen
Yeah.
her all day. I was like, "Oh, your makeup's still on." Yes. And yeah, the new Charlotte setting spray, tick. So I
Okay.
guess now with the right product, you can make that makeup last for hours.
Yeah, that's great. You did some work with Charlotte or
Yeah.
the launch. What
The
was that?
Lord, yeah, her visit, her royal visit.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, congrats to Mecca, like, that whole launch, the event, the masterclass in Melbourne, what a huge thing to organise,
Yeah.
and her team all her team from the UK came out. It must have been huge for the Mecca team. But Max May,
Yes.
myself, and Chantel Baker are the first ever Charlotte Tilbury Glow Squad for Australia. So we're signed to Mecca, and it's not exclusive, obviously, because it's so hard to be exclusive these days, and especially with
Yeah.
me with my media commitments, it's very hard to be exclusive to one brand because it's impossible, but
Yeah.
obviously I've loved Charlotte anyway. The
Yeah.
beautiful PR girls at Charlotte know how much I always request top ups and top ups and top ups. So I guess they were like, well, he's an artist, he's known in the industry, and he genuinely loves the brand. So that's why they came to me and to Max and Chantel. So we're very lucky. We're all stoked to be involved and to work with her and meet her team. So Mecca flew me to the masterclass in Melbourne to watch
Yep.
that and meet her again backstage. But also Sydney had like a more intimate cocktail party, I would say. Lots of journalists there, beauty editors, and top tier makeup artists and influencers. But because we're part of the Glow Squad, we got a little bit extra time of Charlotte, and it was amazing to just talk to her and meet her, and she was wonderful, really giving of her time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
What does it mean to be part of the Glow Squad?
Just really obviously, we love the brand anyway, so it's not
Yeah.
like, I haven't found it at all to be like, "Oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that." It's just, working in our schedules, Max May does some amazing people and jobs, and he dabbles in TV as well. Chantal Baker, I mean, what doesn't that girl do? She's literally everywhere in Melbourne and in Sydney. She
Yeah.
does every single socialite celebrity you can think of. that either travels to Melbourne or lives in Melbourne and does big events like the races. She just
Yeah.
did the Brownlows the
Brownlows.
other
Yeah.
night. She did like 6 people, I think, for the Brownlows. And myself, I do things like the races, I did the Logies and just big events as well. So we all have clients that I think can benefit from getting filmed and how to get their look. So it's
Okay.
basically just working out with our schedule, what can we do to promote the products in a very natural way,
Okay.
using them
Yeah.
in our work life and go, you know what, this is a moment. I think this should be a Charlotte moment. And then we
Yeah.
do that. So it was
Okay.
great. Yeah. And then I have the extra benefit of already having the relationship with Today Extra that when she was in town, we had a Charlotte Tilbury glow suite. So a beautiful hotel room that was styled Charlotte Tilbury head to
Yes.
toe, makeup mirrors, products, and every artists, so me, Max, and Chantel, all of us had, I think we had 4 makeups, each that day, and all those people were paid talent going to the event that night
Mhm.
for the Charlotte event, and I did a live cross from the room because I was like, "Guys, I've got Today Extra on my speed dial. Let's get them in and do that." They were like, "Oh my god, you're getting us, like, extra media?" So that was really great too that I did a live cross from the suite, spruiking her product because normally on TV morning TV, you cannot just mention one brand because it becomes a bit advertorial and a bit too like, "Oh, this is a bit too addy," like,
Yeah.
but because it was Charlotte, they let me spruik every single product from her
Yeah.
range in one segment, so it was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's fun. That sounds very fun. When you do, like, let's say you're going to do video one of the people you're doing the makeup on and talking about the Charlotte, for example, do you do the filming yourself or do you bring someone with you?
Mostly, mainly myself, yeah. I mean, on the Glow Suite day, there was someone going through the room capturing content for Mecca,
Yeah.
because obviously it's a Mecca exclusive brand, and that was a big event for Charlotte, but for Mecca
Yeah.
as well. But in my own content, no, it's always me filming it. So for the
Okay.
Logies, I collaborate. I did a collab post with Mecca,
Yeah.
with Bella Valaris, who's the host of Seven Bravo,
Yeah.
and she works with NBC Universal with me, so I do her makeup a lot for her red carpet. So we decided, okay, that's going to be the Charlotte Tilbury moment, doing Bella's
Uh,
look because she was hosting the red carpet for Seven Bravo,
yeah.
and I did her look. We filmed the whole thing, I edited it, and then the next day we posted it, and Becca collabed with me. So it's all my filming, and I'm like, I'm not a content creator, guys. I just got my phone and no
Yeah.
big studio. Like I'm not like these by Brandons and all these fantastic content creators that literally do like movies, but
Yeah.
they still love it. As long as I get
Yeah.
key messages, what the product is, how I apply it, that's all you have to do. So
Yeah.
even if you're starting out, don't think, well, I'm not a content creator. You probably are. Just
Yeah.
try anything and see your right angles. And you know what it is? Lighting. As long as you
Lighting.
have good lighting, you're fine.
Yeah. Okay. Now, have you ever had an agent?
I've had a few agents. Yes, yes,
Yes.
I definitely have had probably 4 over my career, but my
Okay.
longest serving agent was with Max Connectors. So they're part
Yep.
of Max Media Lab. And Max Connectors, when they first started, when I joined, it was very beauty. Like we had the
Mm,
OGs of YouTube and Instagram, Lauren Curtis, Chloe Morello, and I actually did lots of collabs and worked with them a lot back in those days. It was very, very beauty focused. And then we started doing a bit more like influencer beauty. So like the Sammy Robinsons came into Matt's Connectors, who is very well known for her beautiful look, but she dabbles in lifestyle and fashion and a bit of makeup. So it kind of grew. And now Matt's Connectors is a full blown, I think, anyone goes really, as long as they've got a profile, great engagement, and
yeah.
something to offer, like whether it's
Yeah.
a fashion or a styling or a makeup. Yeah, but I was with them for 8 years and I had the best time. The team there are just like they also became like family, and I still see them today at events and love talking to them.
Mm,
But after 8 years, I decided that I would go out on my own and just see
yeah.
how it goes for a little while being unrepresented, and it's
Yeah.
been a year and a half now, and
Yeah.
I have loved it, to be honest. I think brands sometimes love it because there's no middleman,
Yeah.
and, I've had head office roles at L'Oreal, so I can do an email, I can write a pitch, I can invoice, I can do all that kind of stuff that maybe a young artist or
Mm,
influencer content creator maybe cannot do. I'm
mm,
more than happy to go on LinkedIn and connect with the GM or an MD of a brand and write them a message and go, "Hey, we need to work together." I'm just a big networker. No one can sell yourself like yourself.
mm.
I found that when my managers, ex-managers from all different agencies were pitching me, they'd come back with questions from the brand going, "Oh, the brand loves you. They're thinking about that campaign, but they want to know this." And I'm like, "We discussed in the original pitch. What did you say to them?" And when I
Mm.
read what they've said, I was like, "Oh, I would have pitched differently and sold it straight away. Like, there should be no
Yeah,
questions from the original pitch." So
yeah,
that's when I started thinking, I'll just do it myself and have a go. I'm not saying I would never have a manager again. I probably
yeah,
will, to be honest. But I just wanted to test the waters and see how it went. And to be honest, it wasn't a flop. It was actually good.
yeah,
Brands actually, they loved it. It's like, oh, we love talking to you direct. So much easier, so much easier.
yeah,
And also less agency fees for them. So
yeah,
they're happy to pay me for, yeah. So for me, it's been a great experience. But I would say if you're young, up and coming, don't have much experience in writing a proper email with a pitch attached to it. I mean, yes, there's ChatGPT now and stuff, but still,
yeah.
invoicing can be hard, pricing, things like that.
Pricing.
You might need a manager for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the pricing side of things would be because you just don't know how to price something or even negotiate, you know? I think that can be a bit tricky if you're not familiar with it.
Yeah. The pricing negotiating is definitely a skill. I have no issue now talking about pricing
Yeah,
negotiating or why my prices are such a price or I mean, there was a big, campaign for a beauty brand that wanted me to do this job, and they said to me, "We have limited budget," but it's a big brand, like,
yeah,
not some new no one's heard of it. It was a big, big brand from a huge company, and I was like, "Limited budget." So I already knew, okay, here we go. So I even just lowered it just a little bit, not my high day rate, just thinking, "Oh, they've already said limited, I better not go my usual." So I went in a bit low and they're like, "Oh, it's still not, it's a bit over the top." And then they said, "Can you do it for this?" Which was so low. And I'm thinking, "Oh my God, like that is not even my Glam and Go rate really." I mean, it is, but like,
yeah, yeah,
barely a half day rate and they want a full day for this campaign.
yeah,
And I said, "Look, I'm only going to go to here. That's all I'm going to do. I'm sorry, just because I need to be true to my brand, my
yeah,
worth. I've been around 25 years. I've worked on so many brand campaigns and people. I just know what I'm worth. I cannot go any lower." And they said, "No, that's the only budget they have." And I said, "No." So I think sometimes really be true to yourself. Like, because the minute you start lowering, someone
mm,
else might hear that you did that job for that price, or they might use you again for that price. Because this particular company has multiple brands, and I was
yeah,
worried that if I said yes to that one, and they
yeah,
asked me for another one, they're gonna go, "Well, he did it for that last time.
yeah,
He'll do it cheap again for us. He'll do us a favor." So I'm like, "Oh god, I gotta pay my bills." So
yeah,
I'm very strict about pricing. I'd rather say no to a job and not get
mhm,
it, and then get another one, somewhere
yeah,
else. So you just gotta
yeah,
be true to yourself and what you believe in and know your worth.
yeah. Let's talk about some products. Let's talk
Oh,
about your
yes?
kit. What are you loving at the moment? What are you like, what's your go-to foundation?
Ooh, so I've got 2 in my kit. I only travel with 2 because
Yeah,
I'm like, I gifted every foundation you can imagine, and I love
yeah,
them for so many reasons, but this is a kind of a PR thing too. If a brand can't send me more than a few shades, like sometimes they send you 2 or 3 and go, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Love it," but it's not going into the kit because I need 4 or
yeah.
5 shades. And yes, of course, I can go and purchase them myself, but I'm just I'm just
Yeah,
very
yeah.
blessed to not purchase them. So at the moment, I've got YSL All Hours,
Mhm.
and that's my like glam. So like Martine on Housewives always wore All Hours for all her filming, never comes off. It does stay All Hours. Fun Lots of Wife, even though she's more of a natural girl, it's still TV and filming, so I still
Yeah,
use YSL All Hours. All my red carpet, so Kate on Wednesday when she had to do her makeup at 8 a.m. for a 6 p.m. event, all hours. It just It's like a velvety, blurring, smoothing foundation, semi-matte, which I know the word matte scares people, but matte is fantastic for
So
longevity.
good.
And it's also great for glam and TV because it
Mm,
smooths so much. It doesn't show off pores and lines. It's like almost a bit, yeah, I don't know. I just love semi-matte finishes, and it's new age, I'll say, of blurring foundation.
yeah.
But there's plenty of times that I want beautiful skin and, like, fresh skin and glowy and chewy so I have beautiful skin from Charlotte
I
Tilbury, and
love that one.
they're my 2, and I don't use anything else. I just either and I only have 6 shades of each in the kit, even though there's, like, 20 something shades of
Yeah,
both. I only
okay.
have 6 of each, and then I can mix if I need to. So if there's 1 shade in between, I go, "Oh, I'll just mix you 2 together." But I only have 6 in my kit of both.
Yeah, smart.
I pack very minimal.
Love that. I was gonna ask how many shades you carried. With the all hours one, is that a long wear, would you
Yeah,
say?
like it's classed as a medium coverage, but obviously you can stipple and, really dab it up to make it quite a full coverage. But for me, it's more about that beautiful, velvety, semi-matte smoothing finish on any skin tone. It just skin type. It just blends so well. Like I honestly love it. So many full coverages can be a tad drying,
Yeah,
or they can catch on the dry parts or a blemish on the skin. Whereas just all hours, it seems to be so smoothing. So it's creamy enough to blend, but when it
yeah,
sets, it really is that blurred, smooth finish. So I really love it for anything I do that's got camera work attached to it, like red carpets or glam and obviously
yeah.
TV.
So it's not like, let's say, your Estee Lauder double wear, which has its place,
Mm.
but I find it really difficult to use on its own. Is it easier to work on
Oh,
skin? Okay.
totally. Double was what I mean, the original double was what I used to have when I was dancing. So when
Yeah,
I was on stage as a dancer, we used to tape it on, and it was amazing for long lasting. It is full coverage. It does last, but
yeah,
on certain skins, it can look a bit dry. So if your
yeah,
skin is not absolutely plump to its plump as it can be, and you're
yeah.
not totally moisturized and hydrated underneath it, after a few
Mm,
hours of wear, you can really see the foundation.
you
And if
can.
someone's asking you, what foundation are you wearing? It's like, well, you shouldn't really see it.
Yeah.
Normally, it should be like, "Wow, what skincare do you use or what's on your skin? Your skin looks so
Mm,
good." That's what happens when you wear YSL All Hours. It just looks so good and fresh still.
okay.
But I'm very excited. Charlotte Tilbury has relaunched the Airbrush Flawless Foundation,
Okay.
which the original, I kind of rated it like a double wear, very rich, very thick. On the wrong skin type, it can look a bit dry, but they've
Yeah.
just relaunched a brand new version, and now apparently it's weightless and more modernized into this new blurring, smoothing type foundation we're seeing everywhere. I can't wait to see it yet. I should be getting the drop from the PR in a couple of weeks, but that's apparently going to be apparently it's going to take over my glam foundation. So we'll see when I get it.
We'll see. What do you use to prep? What do you put underneath when
For
you're prepping
skincare,
sk Yeah.
at the moment, all Charlotte. I was using Magic Cream a lot anyway. Like,
Mm.
I would say Magic Cream has been in my kit for years and years and years. When
Mhm.
they launched the water cream as well, the lighter version,
Yeah.
I now had the double because I found sometimes Magic Cream wasn't for everyone. So I did
Mm.
have, like, more fluid, liquid, style moisturizers for a real light boost of hydration. But
Mhm.
then they launched the water cream, which is the white lid, and that is so water-based. And for our humid climate here in Sydney and Queensland and that kind of stuff, it's just a bit less dense. So I
Yeah.
love it for really warm days. It feels cooling. It's really light. That's the water cream. But I
Mhm.
would say on 80% of my clients, I use the Magic Cream and always have done.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I've always dabbled with different eye creams and serums and things like that. But for me, it's more about my primers. So I was using the Laura Mercier primers, the matte
Yeah.
one, hydrating one. I had the 2 in the kit and just love it because a lot of the time when I am doing a glam that I know that I'm not going to be with the client all day, like Glam and
Yeah.
Go, for example, I would use more the blurring, mattifying one, especially in the centers of the face because even I'm going to use the blurring foundation and probably a mini powder and probably a setting spray. We all know we can get shine in our
Yeah.
faces, especially in hot lights in TV studios. Or if you're going glam and you're in Sydney and Queensland, it's a lot of humidity.
Yeah.
And because Jacinta Franklin now lives on the Gold Coast, I know what it's like when you're like, whoa, this is hard to do makeup in this climate. So I'm very big on the matte and blurring primers, but
Okay.
there could be a dry skin or a whole different scenario, or more in winter when I use the hydrating version. But I just got sent the go-to primers, the matte hydrating, and I've taken away the Laura Mercier and switched them over. So I'm really loving them. They're beautiful texture,
Okay.
very skincare-like, but the matte one, it blurs and mattifies without being like a film. So anything over the
Okay.
top just blends so well. It's really good. Love it.
So, yeah, that's why I'm a bit funny on primers because I always find I don't like how the makeup sits on top of them.
Okay, yes.
So,
Some of them create a film, and then certain
yeah.
products just don't work well, they don't blend well, they can catch or they can peel, and it's awful, like, not a good look. So I'm really funny with the primers that I use and things like that, but the go-to ones, I tested them out on a few people going, like, "Tell me how it wears, what's it doing?" And I'm really happy. So Zoe Foster, and it was so cute. She even, when I posted on my story about getting them, because her and I have
Yeah.
worked together since her Cosmo days. Like, I used to present all the Lancôme new products to her back in 2010 and things like that. She wrote, "The master, I can't believe he's trying my products." And I was like, oh my God, because we toured Australia once together with Cosmo. Like, it's a
Yeah.
long-standing relationship, but yeah, I'm really proud of her because it's hard to get that mix of skincare and makeup, and the
Mhm.
primers she's made are really, really good. There was a big debate on my Instagram. I did a poll between matte and dewy because I feel like
Yeah.
consumers are all dewy, 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 glow, glow, glow,
Yeah.
glow, glow. But artists are like blur, matte, blur, matte.
Yeah.
And the poll was definitely favoring matte. And when I looked at, like, I think 60, 70 people said that, they were all nearly artists, and even she wrote back and said, "It sounds like artists love matte, consumers love glowy, but we should be probably listening to the artists a bit more, and that's why makeup lasts longer." Because if
Yeah.
you say matte to someone, they immediately go dry, dull.
Yeah.
Does not mean that anymore. Every
No.
single matte I use is blurring and smoothing. That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking about. So that's why I love the Charlotte Tilbury spray. I love the go-to matte primer, the YSL foundation. It's blurring and smoothing. So I'm all about that type of look to the skin rather than overly glowy and dewy for longevity.
Mhm. Yeah, I was all about the glow, but skin just looks better when the glow's just in the right places and it's matte and blurring everywhere else.
I love when you can
Um,
control the glow, like you said, like when it's in the right spots. You can blur and velvet the skin and then place it where you need it to be. That works the best. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think I'm gonna have to give the go-to a little try.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the formula. Lovely texture, blends well. I think you'll love it.
Yeah. Are you what about concealers? What's your go-to?
Oh, I buy Under Eye from It
Uh,
Cosmetics, has been one of my go-tos for many years. I've said this on TV, my podcast when I had it. I mean, I think what started it was I started using it on myself. I have a really strong dark circle and always struggle with dark circles, and my eyes are more deep set. On tired days or certain lighting, it can look really bad, you know? And because I'm quite lined around here, my skin there's so thin, anything
mhm.
in the pumps or the wands,
Mhm.
the actual concealer formula is so thin and liquidy that when I start smiling, I'm very animated, I'm very expressive. I look like it's so cakey and creasy because the weight of the concealer is so light, it just goes into an expression line. The Bye Bye Under Eye, it's got hydration in it, but it's quite creamy and quite dense.
Mm,
Dense concealers, consumers sometimes go, "Oh, it's gonna be too thick, too thick. I want
mm,
light. I'm a natural girl." But to
mm,
actually cover something and make it not move, you need density. So I love
mm,
that I can put 3 dots under my eye, just use a small beauty blender and dab it, and it's done, and it never moves. It has never
mm,
creased into my lines, and I've got a lot of those. So when I use it on myself and went, "Ooh, good coverage, still
mm.
hydrating," really thick and dense, but you only need the tiniest amount. I started using it on clients and in my kit, and for my male clients as well, because it's not glowy. It's not like a
Yeah.
YSL Tushy Colour. It's quite matte, so it's good for males and females. High density means less movement in expression areas. Big tick for me.
Okay. Have you got it on now?
Yes, I do.
Because you look fresh and
Oh, thank
natural.
you. Yes, I
Yeah.
I go
Fresh
to
and
Barry's,
natural.
like, I do, like, a workout class, and I even put it on before I work out.
Really?
My dark circles are really they've always been hated them for years and years and years. That's the one thing I will never even if it's down to the local shop, I always have concealer on.
Yeah, I would never know that about you because even on your social media, like, you just always look fresh.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Yeah. And what about mascara?
Fenty. So, look, at Lancôme, when I worked there, Hypnose was our best seller,
Okay.
and it was in department store days before Mecca and Sephora started. It was the number one mascara in all department stores, not only in Australia, but even overseas for a long time. And then obviously other brands crept up, Dior crept up, YSL crept up, but then other brands popped up from Mecca, Sephora. It was hard for me to leave that. I went to YSL for a long time, but and now
Yeah.
I use the Fenty Hella Thick. It is
Okay.
for glam and for thick volume lashes, but still separated. Just a really good brush. The texture of the product, I love it.
Okay.
But that's
Yeah.
for me in my kit as a glam artist. Like if you
Mm.
want everyday mascaras, day wear, you might love an MCO Beauty. It's so easy to
Yeah.
use. Or the new Mario one actually is very good for separating and really lengthening.
Okay.
So, depends if you're wearing it daily. Most of my makeup, it's glam, like on camera or
Mm.
at events. That's why I use Hella Thick all the time. But
Mm.
every day, even MCO Beauty, like it's such a good mascara for like a
Yeah.
natural effect, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So the one that you mentioned, the Fenty one, is that waterproof? It's just a standard
Standard
formula.
water resistant, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think nearly every mascara now is water resistant, which means
Okay.
you're okay if you just, get caught in the rain and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But waterproof is really only good, really, if you're submerging yourself underwater. Because
Mm.
even if you sweat
Mm.
and if you in the rain, a water resistant should be okay.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
if you don't touch and rub it, it should be fine. But waterproof, I don't like how waterproof mascaras coat the lashes with this like almost harder consistency of formulation. Like for brides, even I've never used a waterproof mascara. I just don't love how they make the lashes look and feel. So I'm
Hmm.
all about water resistant and
Water
just
resistant.
training my client never ever rub your eye. Always just dab if a tinge
Yeah.
or a sweat comes and that type of stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
The Hella Thick from Fenty, there's now a new primer that has got launched as well. Back in the day primers were really big, those
Those
creamy
white ones?
primers you put on first,
Yeah.
wait a few minutes and then go over the top. That's
Yeah.
I haven't used yet, but when I was working with Marc Jacobs Beauty as their ambassador, they had a primer mascara and we used to use it all the time. And it was like, whoa, the lashes can be really bigger. I'm going to try the Fenty one. But Fenty Hella Thick also is now in brown. Excessive brown mascaras at the moment. A lot of my day glams now are with brown mascara. The Lash Clash from YSL or now the new
Yeah.
brown. Brown mascara is brilliant, especially for brown and green eyes.
Yeah.
The warmth of the brown contrasting, sorry, with the green or blue eye is like, whoa. And it just
Yeah.
makes eyes in the daytime. Like so many of my events that I do with Jacinta Franklin or Kate Waterhouse are day events. And they
Yes.
want glam and they're getting photos done, but the black mascara and black can be a bit closing of the eye, a bit heavy.
Yes.
So I'm finding the brown mascara opens their eye more and it's kind of like more awake. I don't know. I just love brown mascara at the moment for
Yeah.
day glam. It's so cool.
Yeah. I have to say I love a bit of brown mascara as well. Not necessarily on myself, but on probably for me, I love it on like a photo shoot when you're doing something a little bit more natural. You just get
Yeah.
that little bit of definition,
Yeah.
but it's not, oh, I've got a big glam on my, you know what I mean? It's not a a big statement, but it
Yeah, yeah, and, like,
brings the eye out.
there was one look I did that was still quite a glam moment in our
Mm,
work, we would call it a glam moment, but I just used a dark chocolate brown from Makeup Forever, you know those beautiful artist
yeah,
pencils, everyone loves the artist pencils. If you're a makeup artist out there and you don't have artist pencils in your kit, you need to. They're for eyes, lips, so they're just
yeah.
amazing shades. Anyway, Limitless Brown I've used often
Mm,
as a wing or a smoky, but I use it inside the waterline a lot. And if you do the
okay.
brown in the waterline, extend a bit on the outer of the wing, a good brown mascara, it's like, that's can be quite glam, like, even though it's
Yeah.
not black, but it makes the
Yes.
eyes more open and not so closed off. Obviously, coloring's a big thing. Some people just need
Yeah.
black mascara for their coloring and
Yeah.
hair tone and whatever, but I'm just loving a brown moment. It's the
Yeah.
Michael Brown moment's happening.
I love that. I love that. Now, Michael, you've shared so much today. Thank you. What sort of some advice you would give to up and coming makeup artists?
I think, as we mentioned before, the power of relationships.
Yeah.
I think, you know, you can do a job and maybe someone on that team or your own client in front of you, your own talent, but maybe someone in the team, maybe it's a photographer, a PR person, a brand marketer, whatever they are on that photo shoot or experience. Maybe they rubbed you off the wrong way that day. You just didn't click, or something happened that peed you off, and you're thinking, ugh, you never know where that person is gonna pop up again at another brand or another shoot or another moment or experience. So I've had many days where I go, that person is just not we're not gelling together, but I
Yeah. Okay.
still try and just be so happy and smile and
Mm,
yes, no, yes, yes, do everything because I'm like, you never know who they're gonna be. But
mm,
that's a negative type of experience, but even positive experiences, and you may never see them for, like, years.
yeah.
They pop up again as this is a funny story. The guy that moved me to Sydney, he was the general manager of Lancôme at the time in
Yeah.
2006. He moved me across country and kinda created the career I have now because I wouldn't be in Sydney without him. I have spoken to him a few times on LinkedIn very briefly over the years, it's been nearly 20 years. He's now the boss of the Estee Lauder Group, like the head. There's no one higher than him at Estee Lauder. Wow. So it's kinda like, I know if I'm ever really down and out, I could probably email him and go, "Any jobs going?"
Yeah.
To know where that person's gonna go, where their career's gonna go, and your career might go with them or away for a while, then back together. I don't know. I'm a big believer on building relationships.
Yeah.
People like Susan and I, she would have
Yeah.
come to me years ago, and then she went off on her own. I didn't see her for probably 5, 6 years, and now we hang out all the time. We go to events together. I get her jobs, she gets me jobs. It's just relationships is your biggest thing in this industry. Everyone
Yeah.
talks, everyone knows each other. It may seem big, but it's not. And just networking, use the power of social media. I didn't have that when I was young.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm kind of glad I didn't have so much of the TikToking and everything, but I'm also going, wow, the newcomers do have it really well with be able to reach brands and
Yeah.
PRs and celebrity makeup artists in the way that we never, ever, ever could in my day.
Yeah.
And things like all my work, for example, yes, you've got Instagram, but it only, people scroll through, but they kind of scroll through the first few grids. They don't go back to when you started, like when I did Giselle Bundchen. That was years ago. No one's going to know that. And Miranda Kerr, years ago. Well, not years ago, I did it last year, but still, like it's not in my
Yeah.
recent. I created a hashtag when I first got Instagram, Makeup by Michael Brown.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I did because I use it on every single makeup post that I post on Instagram.
Okay.
And it's helped me so much. If a client goes, hey, can I see some of your work? I just go to Makeup by Michael Brown on Instagram, hashtag. You'll see literally 800 photos of my work. And now I've actually put it in my bio. So when you first go to my page
Okay.
there, it's actually in my bio as a hashtag. And I find that's just promoting your work even more. And now with AI, I noticed the other day because I clicked on it the other day going, I wonder what photos come up these days because it always changes the order. So
Okay, yeah.
it could be photos from last week or it could be photos from 10 years ago. And it actually was more older photos. I was like, oh, all the ones coming up now are like from 10 years ago. That's kind of cool because it reminds me of makeup stuff I've done. Because of AI now, it says at the top, Michael Brown is a renowned celebrity makeup artist, does TV. Yeah. So I'm like, I get an intro. So I kind of find, yes, I can go to your website or click a bio link, but having a hashtag that's visible and you can click it straight from your Insta bio. And for me, I've used it for years. So it has every single work I've ever done in makeup on it. It's quite a good thing to do.
Yeah, wow, that's a great tip. Especially now, I think with ChatGPT, people are doing a lot of searching through there, I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And
yeah,
I mean, look, I don't do many weddings at all, mainly because brides want to book you way too far in advance. And
yeah,
with my lifestyle and my work scenarios, I just can't commit to a year out. So I don't
yeah,
do many weddings, but if I do them and the bride wants to see your work, it's great. Hey, go to my hashtag.
yeah,
Everything's there from like celebrity work to models to regular people. It's all there. And so
yeah,
they love it. And they often pick the top 5 photos and show me that as like a mood board for for work.
yeah. It's always good when people pick your work as the inspiration.
Yeah, yeah, it helps. Helps a lot.
Thank you so much, Michael. It's been great chatting with you. Loved
Pleasure,
hearing your
Vanessa.
story. You're such a amazing energy to be around, even online. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and I love what you do as well. Hey, congrats on the podcast. It's really
Thank
great that
you.
someone is sharing information like this to the industry. I think it's great. So thank you.
Thank you.